Welcome to the Loveland Report and the Lona Ranger Show. I am Cleve, Loveland, Central Florida's voice of real estate, alongside the Lona Ranger, Bruce Woodburn, giving you all of your real estate news. What's going on in this market? Is it still a seller's market? Are prices still climbing? When is this all craziness all going to come to an end? We will give you all that news. We can tell you what's the best time to sell your home, how to coordinate buying that next house, because that's the hard part right now. We can do all that. Where are the interest rates at? Has Sleepy Joe sent those into just a skyrocketing phase here? What's going on?
All of those things we're going to talk about in this segment. So stay tuned. Thanks for joining the Loveland Report and the Lona Ranger Radio Show. My name is Bruce Woodburn. If you have questions for us while we're on the air, feel free to give us a call at 407-250-9144. If you'd like to reach Cleve, ask him any questions or have him come out to your house, he can be reached at
407-352-8118.
Yeah, so Cleve, it's been interesting. I happen to go out of town. Whenever I go out of town, the market goes crazy. Okay, So everybody, I had to make sure I had everybody.
You can't go out of town anymore.
I had to make sure everybody that was floating their interest rate was locked before I went out of town, and thank God I did. We saw the largest increase in interest rates in 1 week than we've seen since 2013. I went back and looked at 2013. I think it was higher increase than even 2013. I have not seen interest rates rise that sharply in a short period of time. Now, you and I have been talking about this, and we're seeing interest rates rising. We have been for the last two and a half months.
Yeah.
And it's just constantly, every day, there's a little bit higher and a little bit higher. And we've been telling our clients and our listening audience this for quite some time now, because you and I thought that interest rates would start going up long before they did.
Yeah.
Right? So, and I've been telling everybody that I thought that within the first quarter of 2022, we would hit 5.5%. Well, we have hit 5.5% for a lot of clients. That if you have perfect credit, you can still be in the fours.
Yep.
Right. But now I just was looking at investor transactions because, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac imposed additional risk-based pricing on non-owner occupied property, including second homes.
Yep.
I'm seeing rates in the sixes already on those properties.
Wow.
In the sixes on investment properties. Well, it's interesting because we've got Rich and Deb have come back again and buying another property down in Fort Lauderdale. And they have been on our Leapfrog program, and they have bought multiple properties. And I was talking to him about what interest rates are doing on investment properties just this week. And he's like, as long as I can get appreciation and positive cash flow, I don't care what the interest rate is. And he's smart because it doesn't matter. Now, does interest rate matter? Well, of course, lower is better.
Yeah.
Nobody is going to think
But the prices on the property they might slow down, but they're going to keep appreciating.
They're going to keep
appreciating. This is what's happening in Florida. We're becoming a more expensive state compared to the other states in the union. We were number 20. I think we're moving towards 14 or 15.
I think you're right. But for all the right reasons. We've got a great governor. We don't have state taxes, and we have amazing weather, and we still have a lot of property to build on here.
And I want to talk about one thing I'm seeing right now is this is where we're going to watch. What's hard to tell, we can always look back and say, yep, that's when the market slowed down. Right now is when we're going to start to see things. I'm seeing listings on the market a little bit longer, not getting as many multiple offers. But when you're a seller, the important thing is know how to read. Your realtor needs to know this, how to read the market. Because I always say pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. And the hogs that got slaughtered in 2008 and 2009 were the people saying, oh, no, this is a blip. It's going to start going back up again. So, and it just, it's kind of ridiculous when you have.
Well, share with me what you mean by that. Because 2008 and 2009.
You're making a good profit.
Yes.
But don't get greedy. You get 10 offers. And you go, whoa, wait a minute. We got 10 offers. Let's hang on another 2 weeks. That's not going to work.
No.
Your best interest is the first couple of days. That's what the MLS does. Is those people coming through your front door have been waiting for something. They're on the train. They've been watching properties sell. They might have lost a couple. You don't say, well, guys, I'll take your offer and look at it and stew on it for a week. That doesn't work.
No.
So
well, and for a lot of reasons though, because think about this: if you're out looking at property and you find one you like, and the seller's not getting back with you, what do you think you're going to do?
Move on to the next one.
You're going to go look for another property. So not knowing where you stand on the first one, right? So you don't want to jump at the first offer that comes in, you want to wait. And I know you like to go through
well,
a
my market
weekend
maker
and
program,
let it build.
I control that process, and I learned this in 05 and 06. And the what we do is we get I control that process and put the house on the market for about 4 or 5 days, including a weekend. And that's the perfect time to cook it. I've tried doing it a little longer, a little less. I get more offers at that point with a good, activate Wednesday night, all offers in by Monday morning. You don't want to go activate it and say, hey, I'll have multiple offers. We're going to look at them all 2 weeks from tomorrow.
For sure.
And so that's what's
well, and realtors
agent.
were doing that. They were, give us highest and best, and you still do that. You're just not dragging it out for 14 days.
Yeah.
If you would like to talk to Cleve, one of his buyer's agents, or talk about listing your home, Cleve can be reached at 407-352-8118. That's 407-352-8118. If you have questions for the loan arranger, you'd like to buy a home, maybe you're a first-time home buyer, maybe you're a move-up buyer, or you're looking at a vacation home or an investment property, I'm always there to talk to you about that. We can walk through the process. I'm still getting a lot of people jumping in. I saw the rates go up and my leads went up. Like it's funny how that happens. And believe it or not, Cleve, I'm still getting a lot of refinance calls, people that have private mortgages, balloon notes, adjustable rate mortgages, and they want to get out of it before rates get too crazy out of hand.
And we always say this, we don't know any rich renters. It's
Nope.
still cheaper than renting. So you need to get into something quickly.
According
to, you don't own something.
You know what? I was reading an article just a couple weeks ago that Tampa and Tampa and Orlando are very close. They were saying that is about 20 to 25% cheaper to own than it is to rent. Now, that doesn't always mean, Cleve, that the rent is going to be a higher price than the mortgage payment. The mortgage payment could be equal or even a little higher price. But by the time you get your deductions and so forth and appreciation, it makes it cheaper.
And the mortgage going down because you're paying it off.
Your
rent can go up.
Rent is an adjustable rate. That's all it is.
I'm raising rents on our investment properties that we manage. I'm raising them probably 5 to 6%.
Well, they say they're going up 20%.
Yeah, year over year. So, and this is another thing too. You want to make sure the property gets rented quickly. You don't want it to sit vacant. And I have a lot of people. I just had somebody bring me a rental, and they got it from another manager. It was horrible condition. And they had not gotten, they were not getting the rent checks on time. They were getting repair bills. They didn't understand what they were for. Turns out the manager was the repairman also, and just basically circling the drain broke. So if you have hear about anybody having any problems like that on property management, have them call me at 407-352-8118. But managing investment property, I always go 90 days before the lease is up. We talk. What do we think we're going to go to? And you got a great tenant. You don't want to jack them through the roof because they're going to go look around. Of course not. Now, when you do raise,
you don't want to jack anybody through the roof.
I have some tenants go, oh, wait a minute, we're not going to do that increase. We're going to look around. They come back going, okay,
yeah, so we'll do it now.
I don't see, and they don't move over $100 a month.
Well, it's interesting because I was having a conversation with my son over the weekend, and we were talking about how the increase in rents is negatively affecting so many people out there. And I said to him, that is exactly why I preach homeownership, because rents are an adjustable rate. Yeah. And homeownership is a fixed rate.
Yep.
I mean, I know there are some lenders out there that are doing adjustable rates. And when rates hit 7.5 or 8, adjustable rates may become more in favor. I'm still a fixed rate lender.
So high 4s, you don't see adjustable rates coming in?
Well, I see some lenders trying to sell adjustable rates, and I see some people falling for it. I personally, my advice, I don't start entertaining adjustable rates till we're exceeding 7.5%, because I can keep a fixed rate. If I do an adjustable rate for you, and rates are on a fixed rate, let's just say are 7%, and they're not, you guys, yet. They're just probably going to go there. But let's just say they're 7%, and you can get an adjustable at 4%. Well, that adjustable is going to go to 5% the next year, possibly 6%, depending on what the rate caps are.
Yeah.
And then within the third year, you're already at 7%. Now you're forced to do a refinance. Mm-hmm. If you stay with the fixed rate, refinance it when they drop by 1.5 points.
And what about somebody knows they're going to move in 7 years, the kids will be off to college, and is there a 5-year or 7-year arm?
So there are 5-year and 7-year arms. They're just not favorable. They're not. See, here's what happens. You would think that you would get a lower rate on an adjustable rate than a fixed rate, right? Common sense would tell you that.
Yep.
if there's not a pooling for it in the secondary market, in other words,
They're not popular.
If they're not popular,
Yep.
they're not priced right.
Yep.
So until they become popular, then Wall Street does not trade them as favorably on the
Okay.
secondary market. So they become too high. I was looking at adjustable rates for a client the other day, and I'm like, these aren't even better than a fixed. Why would I do it?
Yeah.
Why would I do it?
So what's the number people call you at?
407-250-9144. That's 407-250-9144. Or you can apply online at WeBringYouHome.com. That's WeBringYouHome.com.
Article here about a house selling for 60% off list price from its original value. So this is where now this is why you have to watch headlines and then read. That's a clickbait. That's somebody wanting you to grab your eyeballs and make you read that article. But it was about a house. It was on the market for 3 years, and so you can still ask too much for a home, or a home cannot be prepped right or staged right. Even in this market we're in, Bruce, I just got a call from somebody. They were listed, and when they told me, I went and viewed the house. I saw several things wrong that I know would make it show better. And then, because they said they had traffic, then the traffic faded and went away, and then the realtor disappeared on them, and they just didn't sell. And I said, and I talked to them about pricing and market position, and they just said they left it totally up to the agent that helped them list, and it was just way off.
Well,
there's got to be a basis.
There was probably some truth to that, but there's also probably some greed, because you and I both know that when you're up against other real estate agents to list somebody's property, and you're telling that seller, you know what, you're going to get 5 to 5 1/4, and somebody else is saying, I can get you 600. People gravitate toward that, and they go, "Oh,
it's
I'll
called
go
buying
with
a listing." Yeah, no.
I'll go with the one that says he can get 600. It's just like somebody coming to me and shopping me against another lender.
Here's all you got to worry about. You want the toughest negotiator.
Absolutely.
And that's the person that's going to get you the most. Now, I am tough. I am a very tough negotiator, but I am as sweet as I can be to the other agents bringing me the offers, because I'll explain to them.
There's a difference between tough and not being professional.
Yeah.
I mean, you still have to be professional, but what I think a lot of people miss when they're hiring a real estate agent is they don't understand that that's the most important skill that they have.
Yeah.
If you're not a great negotiator, all you are is a patsy to accept a contract and write a contract. Well, what are you really there for? Then you can pick anybody to be a realtor. If you want a great realtor, then negotiate for it, right? Negotiate for it.
Yeah, and that's where, I can show you how I negotiate about 4 to 5% more than most realtors. I can lay out the stats for you. You can give me somebody else's name, and I can show you, okay, they sold 10 homes last year and got 99% of list price. I'm getting 104% of list price. It's pretty, numbers don't lie.
No.
But it's funny, 75% of all stats are made up.
Yes.
So you got to know what you're looking at. And
I think more than that.
Yeah, so anyway, to reach me, 407-352-8118, 352-8118, and lovelandreport.com. If you need to buy a house, sell a house, and or you need property management. Buyers right now, the problem I'm seeing, we're getting a lot of buyers because they're not being helped to write the best offer, to get their offer faster. One poor guy had been wandering around for 5 months, did about 4 offers, didn't know why he was getting rejected, and it wasn't about his pricing. He had the weakest pre-qual letter I've ever seen. So you guys you've got him en route to be fast-tracked.
Yep. Well, I don't know which client that is, and we're not going to mention any names on the air. However, Fast Track is the way to get your offer accepted above everyone else's. I position you as close to being a cash buyer as you can possibly be, and that eliminates a lot of frustration. I want to talk about a couple of things that I've got going on just before we end this session and go on to the next. I'm holding a youth outreach class. I'm going to be educating young folks on the importance of credit, understanding credit, and managing a bank account and creating a budget. That is going to be on Wednesday the 13th at 6 p.m. That would be a Zoom class. Go to WeBringYouHome.com. I have 4 tickets available for real estate agents that would like to attend a 2-day seminar on Monday the 4th and 5th of April. That will be at the Doubletree Hilton, and that is from 8:30 to 4 o'clock on both days. And that trainer is Tina Valiant, amazing real estate trainer. If you are serious about your business, then call me. I've got a couple of tickets available. 407-250-9144 or WeBringYouHome.com. Cleve and I will be back in 5 minutes with more of the Loveland Report and the Lona Ranger Radio Show.
ones here. I've got a 1.8 million, 4,400 square feet with a pool. You're on a chain of lakes in Dr. Phillips. It's a gorgeous custom home. Tile roof, 3-car garage, 6 bedrooms, 5 baths, plus a bonus room, plus a study or media room, whatever you'd like to do. Front and back porches, balconies that overlook. You can watch Disney fireworks out the front door. You can watch SeaWorld fireworks and Universal fireworks out the back door over the lake. Boat dock with a lift, everything, all for $1.8 million. And then I've got some commercial land in Cocoa, $1.25 million, and that is a 2,000 square foot building and 5 acres on US 1. Be great for like a storage facility. The office building's in excellent condition. Big cavernous space there. Do what you want with it. But 5 acres right on US 1. And that area, it's funny how all the growth is coming up the coast from South Florida, Bruce, and people just keep moving and moving. I've moved more people back to Titusville, and Canaveral, where I grew up, and it's like that's inexpensive beach property now compared to the rest of Florida. So if you have any questions about these,
let's talk a little bit about that particular property, because I looked at some numbers on that one, and so if you put down a little over 5% on that transaction,
the 1.8,
I've got a jumbo loan that you could put down a little over 5%, because I got to get the loan amount to $1.75 million, which your payment on that would be about $11.6.
Yep.
Okay, and your out of pocket would be about $185.5.
Yep.
Okay, so that's on a $1.8 million house.
Yep.
You can get out of pocket that's high credit score borrower, no PMI, 5% down. And then I ran it at a 20% down, and you would be at out of pocket about $415.5.
Yep.
And that would put your payment, I think, about $8,700.
Like $8,700, yeah.
About $8,700. So if you're interested in looking at that property, lakefront, in what city is that in again?
That's Dr. Phillips.
Dr. Phillips, okay.
On a chain of lakes.
On a chain of lakes. I mean, come on, folks. 407-250-9144. I'll run the numbers for you. That's all it takes. Or you can call Cleve at 407-352-8118. We'll take a look at that property. Let's get you into that property, 1.8 lakefront.
You got pictures on lovelandreport.com also.
Yeah, so, and I'm assuming you've got it in MLS.
Oh, yes.
Right? So if you have any questions on that property or any other properties that Cleve has listed, or if you'd like to go out and look at property, he's got an amazing, talented team of buyer's agents that can assist you. I love working with Mike and Nanette. Very good negotiators. And you can reach Cleve at 407-352-8118. You can reach the Lona Ranger at 407-250-9144 or WeBringYouHome.com. You know, let's talk a little bit about the first-time home buyer, because we have seen that segment of the market get pushed further and further out.
Yeah.
Because look at last year, average price $305, now almost $370,
yeah.
Right? So before that, it was $272. Before that, it was $252.
Yep.
I mean, we're talking about $100,000.
So
in the last
the appreciation
couple of years.
this year is probably going to keep going at a fast pace, not as fast as the past couple of years, but it's going to keep climbing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For sure, it is. When there's a shortage of inventory, you're going to have a climb in real estate value. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't matter what the interest rates are. It matters that you're going to make equity when you buy your home. If you have any questions, give Cleve a call. He can be reached at
407-352-8118.
Or call the Lona Ranger at 407-250-9144. I'd be happy to look at some numbers for you, get you pre-approved. I'll get you fast track so you can be the choice that the seller makes when they're entertaining an offer. We'll be back in 5 minutes with more of the Loveland Report and the Lona Ranger Radio Show. Stay tuned.
We are back on the Loveland Report and the Lona Ranger Show, bringing you all of your Central Florida real estate news, helping you make sense of the headlines, the fake news that's out there, telling you what's really going on with mortgages and real estate. Got a thing here, Bruce, an article out of Fox News talking about how Zillow had to basically kind of rebrand themselves because they flopped when they jumped into the house flipping market.
Right.
They were buying people's houses. They were paying too much for them, couldn't get the work done in time to turn them around and try and flip them because it's such a hard market to do. And to be profitable, you got to buy the house like 70% below market value. So basically, you're ripping off the seller. Remember that when you call one of those iBuyers out there that says they'll give you a great deal on your house. And so now they're doing an app, a super app. I don't know what the app's going to do besides, there's an AI that pops out of there that's actually a realtor that can negotiate deals for you and drive you around and show you what's out there and give you advice on what's going on and protect your interests.
I see that with OfferPad as well, but I don't see them we're making profits. It doesn't make any sense. And it's one of those things. I was talking to my son about this on the weekend, and he's like, all these iBuyer companies are being bought. 20% of the homes that are being purchased are from these iBuyer companies, but they're not making any profits. And I said, boy, does that ever remind me of the .com bust when that happened, because everybody was like, oh my God, these iBuyers are, back then it was
.coms. It was .coms,
all the .coms, and everybody was like, oh yeah, you just don't understand, you should be in that market. And then bang, everybody lost
the NASDAQ. Was it NASDAQ? Yeah, the NASDAQ went to 5,000, then it went to 2.
Yeah.
Or 1. So
listen, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Don't get caught up in all these shenanigans, you guys. Keep to the basics, keep things simple, and let it make sense. If you want to deal with a computer for the rest of your life, then maybe that's an option for you. You want to deal with a human being? That's what Cleve and I do different than any of these other companies.
Yeah,
we return phone calls.
If you're in your mom's basement playing Xbox and she's making pizza rolls for you upstairs, then we're probably not your guys. But if you want good, sound real estate advice, and you want somebody to be your real estate advisor and your mortgage advisor, like we help people. I've helped 3, 4. I think I've got somebody's great grandkids I'm working with right now. My mom sold their grandparents or great grandparents' houses in the 70s. And so it's just amazing when you give people good advice. I mean, we know what works. That's why we like to spread this knowledge on the weekend and do this.
Well, and we don't do this. We don't do this show for the money. This show does not pay us money. We do this show because we can bring value.
You're not getting
information.
Paid? You're not getting paid? Yeah.
I haven't got my check yet.
They told me I get paid after 30 years. It's only been 25.
But you know what? We do this because we like to share information. And a lot of folks may think, well, why would I need to listen to a show if I already own a home and I don't need to refinance or I'm not in the market to buy? We keep you informed as to how your money is working. It's like saying, hey, I bought a 401k, but I never need to hear from my financial planner.
Yeah.
I bought it already. Why do I need to hear from them? Yep. You need to know what's going on in the financial market, and your real estate is the biggest piece of the pie. Listen, here's the thing. You got to be in real estate. I keep telling you guys this. Cleve is telling you this. You got to be in real estate. Whoa. And right now, the first-time home buyer is at the biggest disadvantage of everybody. Mm-hmm. So if you know somebody that's renting, and maybe they're your grandchild or your child, adult child, help them out. Now's the time to help them out with the down payment to get them in, because their rent is an adjustable rate. Their house is a fixed rate. Let's secure something solid for them right now. Yep. And I'm always there to help you. I've been helping families in getting into homes and refinancing homes and saving money for 33 years. You can reach me at 407-250-9144. That's 407-250-9144, or WeBringYouHome.com.
And Loveland Properties, 407-352-8118. Chances are one of those rooftops on your street. I've helped sell it or buy it.
Yeah, and you think about this. If you were renting, let's just say you've been renting for 5 years. Well, 2 years ago, your average rent may have been $1,100-$1,200. Now it's $1,800 to $2,300. That's an adjustable rate. If you bought a home, let's just say 2 years ago, and your average price was $272, you would have made $100,000.
And your mortgage payment is probably $1,600-$1,700, renting for $2,400 or $2,500.
Or if you're living in it, even if you live in it, if you just live in it, you're applying money toward your equity every time you make a payment. But when you are renting, you're applying money toward your landlord's rent or landlord's mortgage payment.
Bruce, I'm getting a bunch of questions out there. Inventory is really low. So I have people looking for land to build on, and they're like, well, how do we get the builder and how do we get the financing for that? And that's a construction perm, right?
Absolutely.
And you've got those,
I've got the best construction perm lending that I've ever seen in the market. My company is super aggressive on making sure that we're opening up the gap to be able to help you when it comes to building your own home. Because look at what are your choices? Resale option, you're up against multiple offers. New construction, you're on a waiting list, and it's going to take you a year to build, and you're going to be in a community that has an HOA, and that HOA is not going to let you put your boat in the side yard or your jet ski in the side yard, right? Yep. There's no room to do that, and you can't do it anyway. So a lot of folks want to build on their own lot. So I've got construction, perm, conventional loans with as little as 10% down. Mm-hmm. I'll go to $647,000 on those. I'm working on my jumbo products right now. We'll come up with in the next 45 days. But here's the thing. FHA up to 420, 3.5% down. Construction to perm, 3.5% down. But there's more. I will help a veteran on a VA loan up to $1.5 million with no money down. $1.5 million, no money down. Construction to perm loan. There's no other lender does those.
And the thing now, let's say somebody buys a house that's 300 and something grand. They got into something that was 300,000, and they want to like just tear the roof off and go nuts. That's a construction perm.
No, that's a rehab loan. That's a rehab. You want to buy
how
a
much
home.
Money?
Well, if you're not leaving any walls, it's a construction perm. If you're leaving walls, it's a rehab.
Okay.
So, and then I've got FHA rehab, I've got VA rehab, I've got conventional rehab. I mean,
they're it all.
It's virtually endless, the programs that we provide so that you can reach your goals as an individual. And not all of you come from the same cloth. One of you wants that production home. The other one wants the College Park historical property or colonial town. And then another one, you want to buy that acreage. You want to build your own home. You want it to be the way you want it. You want to have a garage apartment. I can help you with all of that. 407-250-9144. It's 407-250-9144 or WeBringYouHome.com. That's WeBringYouHome.com. If you'd like to reach Cleve, he can be reached at
407-352-8118. Chances are, like I said, one of those rooftops on your street, we've helped sell it or buy it.
Lots of action going on in the market right now. But one thing that people are a little concerned about is rates going up. So we've seen massive increase in interest rates. This time last year, 2.875. Now you're running in the high fours to mid fives. We will see 6.5% in the next 30 to 60 days, folks. I'm just telling you. So if you have not refinanced yet and you have not locked your interest rate in and you want to buy a home, get with me today. Call me right now. I'm returning all calls from this show on Monday, but my team's available. You can text me and say, I want your help or I want to get pre-approved for a loan. You can text at 407-250-9144 or go directly to my website at WeBringYouHome.com.
All right. And we've got some messages here from Larry with Hanover Family Homes.
Yep.
We're not up against a break, right?
Nope,
we got time.
We got a little bit of time.
New construction. This is where people are going to solve their inventory problems.
Yes.
And this is your favorite builder, Hanover Family Builders. And he's got properties in from low 300s in Groveland.
Right.
And it's funny how, like, I just talked to a developer. He's developing properties west of Groveland and Mascot.
Oh, yeah.
It's like I remember when that was the edge of the earth.
It was the edge of the earth.
And I never drove out there 20 years ago.
Start growing.
It will.
I did a loan for a police officer in Mascot. Mm-hmm. And we thought, that's halfway to like Spring Hill or something. But
if you want new construction, now most of the time we're about anywhere from 5 to 9 months out, depending on, but they've got tons of homes. They do a great job at managing this supply chain shortages and getting the houses, built as quickly as they can and with what's going on. So if you were looking for new construction, we've got them in Groveland from the low 300s, got them in Tavares. We've got inventory coming up in a couple months.
Sure.
A lot of inventory homes there from the low 300s also.
Absolutely.
So if you're looking for any of those, give me a call at 407-352-8118.
Yep, and if you'd like me to connect you with one of my friends at any builder, I can do that at 407-250-9144. That's 407-250-9144 or WeBringYouHome.com. Now, we're talking about a class that I'm going to be teaching on the 13th. Now, this is the first time I've ever taught this class, Cleve. Uh-huh. But I have found that there is a huge segment of the population that just does not understand money. And it's not and adults are not exempt, but I want to start helping youth. So if you are a pastor, youth group, have a youth group of sorts, a church, if you're a teacher, and you want kids to start understanding how to budget, how to create credit, how to open an account, how to manage a bank account. Right? What are you going to do when you're in college and you're getting bombarded by credit card offers that you don't have any money to be able to repay them back with? How do you establish that credit? Why is credit is important to you? And how can you use credit to your advantage? I'm going to help all the youth between 17 and 24 years old understand how to use that to your advantage. Because I have to be honest, when I was that age, I didn't really understand it.
Well, it's funny.
I thought a credit card was just free money.
You've been talking about this for a little while, and actually Governor DeSantis just signed something into law about doing a class like this in high school.
Yep, but they're not available yet, and I want to make it so that we can get to the youth as quickly as we possibly can and help you so that you can grow as a productive member of society. And if you have a child or grandchild, or you know somebody that would benefit from that, have them sign up for my class on April the 13th. It will be Zoom, but you must go to WeBringYouHome.com. That's WeBringYouHome.com and register April 13th for my youth outreach.
I got an email here from somebody talking to me about how he's got a realtor that tells him he's got a buyer for his home, and he knows about what his house is worth, and the buyer's offering less than that, and he doesn't know if he should do it because he thinks the other realtor's telling him that that's all he's going to get. Well, this is why you get more money when you put it in MLS. You know, the average for sale by owner sells for about 90% of market value.
That's correct.
So do the math when you add in a real estate commission.
And 80% of for sale by owners end up listing anyway.
They end up listed. So you want to expose it to 20, 30, 40 buyers that have been out there getting beat on other offers or just learning and watching what's selling and watching what's out there. That's when you're going to get the most money. That's how the MLS works. So I would definitely do that. And that person, let them come in and fight with that. I had a good friend of mine. I sold his dad's house for him. His dad's going into assisted living. And he goes, oh, well, the neighbor wants to buy it. The neighbor's a great guy. The neighbor helped me do some work on it. The neighbor watched my dad. And the neighbor wanted, and then when I told him what price we were going to ask for it, he goes, oh, no. He was thinking about 80% of that.
Yeah.
And so it's always.
Why are people so willing to give up so much profit when it comes to real estate?
Well, he wasn't because he listened to me. So we listed it and I sold it for actually 105%
But don't we see that
price.
all the time?
Yeah.
People, I don't know if they just lose their minds when it comes to finances, when it comes to their property, but they're so willing. And that's why these iBuyer companies are so popular right now, Cleve, because their commercials are convincing and people actually believe it.
Well, it's marketing.
It's all marketing.
They wouldn't be making any money.
And I'm going to tell you something. You are being marketed to out there. You are being marketed to by these gimmicks. And if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
All right. And it's funny because, if I wish I had the marketing budget to have 88 billboards along I-4.
Well, I don't have that marketing budget, and I don't do it anyway.
I'd have to be stealing the houses I'm buying pretty cheap and selling them at a pretty hefty profit to be able to afford that. So do the math. It's kind of like, I don't have my name on a NASCAR racetrack. I don't have my name on a football stadium.
Nope.
Or
soccer.
I will work to get you the best price I can for a house. And it's just important, I want to make sure you get the other thing too, I've had some people lately didn't get themselves an easy exit listing. And we'll talk about that in the last segment. 407-352-8118 for Loveland Properties, 407-352-8118.
Yep, and if you have any questions for the Lona Ranger, or you'd like to apply for a mortgage, you'd like some advice, I'm always happy to help you. Just go to WeBringYouHome.com or call or text me at 407-250-9144. That's 407-250-9144. Cleve and I will be back in 5 minutes with more of the Loveland Report and the Lona Ranger radio show. Stay tuned. We're going to talk a little bit more about how the market is going to affect your pocketbook.
And we are back for the final segment of the Loveland Report. Thank you for tuning in today to get all of your real estate news and your real mortgage news. I am Cleve Loveland alongside Bruce Woodburn, the Lona Ranger. Right before the break, we talked about something very important. This is how you know you're dealing with a professional in real estate. It's called an easy exit listing. And if I don't like you, I can fire you. If you don't sell my house, I can fire you. If I don't like what's going on, I can fire you. That's what the seller.
You actually mean if you don't like me.
Yeah,
If Cleve doesn't like you,
if the seller does not like their realtor,
right?
And I have a lot of people say, "Oh yeah, and I'm getting those calls again. Like I can tell the market's going to slow a little bit. I'm getting calls from people who listed for 90 days, and I show them what I do, and I give them some tips and tricks and what we're going to do to get the house sold. And they go, "Oh, I should have hired you first." And they call me back going, "Oh, there's a 1% cancellation fee hidden in the mice print."
Absolutely.
Make sure you have an easy exit listing. That's how I work on all my property management agreements.
Yeah, if you don't like what Cleve says, you can fire him right on the spot.
I've never had anybody fire me for being a knucklehead. I've had people say, "Wait a minute, we're going to rent the house," or "Wait, we're going to wait to sell it." I'm not in the business of just charging people cancellation fees. I'm in the business of helping their real estate goals come true. Get that house sold. Get the bigger house. Get the smaller house. Get rid of the big 5-acre yard and go back down to the little one. Get onto the golf course. Get onto the lake. That's what we do. And I've never locked anybody into a contract. I've been doing that for 30 years, and it's worked out really well for us.
Well, you know what? That is good business. So, and I operate the same way. I do not charge an application fee. I don't claim to pay your closing costs and then charge you a higher interest rate either. I set up clients with the best possible loan for your needs, not mine. I'll make a living just fine providing you a mortgage, but we do not charge for an application fee. I do not charge for consultation. And by God, I spend a lot of my day doing consultation for people that may never buy or refinance. They just call me and like, "Hey, can I run it by you? I got a guy right now. He's a past client. I'm doing a bunch of research for him to determine whether he should keep his house or sell it to buy another one." And we're spending a lot of time going over these numbers, but that's what you guys count on us for. And that's why Cleve and I are here. If you have questions for Cleve or you'd like to hire him or have him look at your listing, call him at 407-352-8118. If you have questions for the Lona Ranger and you want to talk about buying a home or refinancing a home before interest rates hit 7.5%, then call me at 407-250-9144. That's 407-250-9144, or visit my website at WeBringYouHome.com. That's WeBringYouHome.com. Cleve?
Well, I want to talk one more time. Right now, I think the biggest problem out there is people going to sell their home. They don't know where they're going to go because we can't take your offer contingent on closing, like in a normal market, to the next house. So I'm helping a lot of people. You get moved in with the in-laws. I'm doing a lot of lease backs where I get the buyer to agree to let you stay for 2, 4, 6 weeks after closing.
Effectively, up to 60
that
days.
Can give you 2 to 3 months to shop because we're going to shop while you're on the market. We're going to shop when you're under contract. Sometimes we're getting those. That's why I say the market's not softening up, but sometimes we're getting those normal offers accepted contingent on a closing. Depends on what you're buying. But all of these things come into play. I'm helping a lot of people 3, 6, 9 months before they even list. So call me if you need help with that, 407-352-8118.
Well, a lot of people are experiencing these issues where they are a contingency offer. In other words, they have to sell or they have to do something in order to qualify for the future mortgage. But since there's so many offers on the table on these properties, sellers will just push you right out the back door. Yep. If you have any contingencies, you're done. So you need a qualified professional to seek out ways to eliminate contingencies. I do this every day. Yep. And I'll even have listing agents go, I don't know how you're able to do that. And I just want to make sure that you're not just eliminating contingencies that already exist. I will never lie, ever, ever, ever. I have a contractual obligation and a fiduciary responsibility that I will always tell the truth. And I can still do that and structure transactions so my buyers become the winning offer. If you'd like to talk to me, call me at 407-250-9144 or visit my website at WeBringYouHome.com.
407-352-8118. Central Florida's voice of real estate, Cleve Loveland. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. And don't forget to tune in to the Lona Ranger radio show on Sundays at 11 o'clock, same station. See you next week.